Welcome. I'm Heather. Thanks so much for joining me today for Relax and Renew Yoga. We'll use our practice to help release any stress or tension, unwind from the day. And as we let go of whatever it is we need to let go of, that's what our yoga practice is about, releasing things that get built up within our physical body, as well as our mental, emotional body. We'll be able to start the day fresh tomorrow. We often get a better night's sleep from doing this practice before bed. So I hope that works for you tonight too. So we'll slow things down. And if you want to just make sure you have anything you need to be comfortable. So blankets, pillows, and we're going to get started lying on the back for a few moments. And this is a really nice way to let your back release. For many people, we find that at the end of the day, especially, our backs can be really tight and really tense. And as we come into this position, you can keep your knees bent with your feet on the floor, and that will just allow your back the spine will lengthen and the back muscles release. And it might not happen right away. You might just, for now, just notice what's going on as you lie here. And we're doing this practice because it's about tuning our energies and increasing our awareness by focusing on what's going on within us. So we're gently transitioning, slowly transitioning from the outer world and also from the mental world into the body. And this is how we bring ourselves into the present moment. Because as we know, when we spend too much time mentally on the path, in the past or the future, it can be exhausting. It can physically and mentally and emotionally drain us. So we're using our yoga practice to recharge our batteries as we focus on the here and the now. We can do this by feeling what's going on in the body as we lie here. And you might notice that it might feel good to do a little bit of movement. Maybe you feel a natural inclination to shift and move around any part of your body. Please follow that guidance and flow however you'd like to at any point tonight in your practice. So I'm just going to rock my head a little bit from side to side, loosening up in the neck. And releasing any tension in the jaw. You can keep your eyes softly closed, and that'll help you to stay tuned inward into your body. And starting to focus on the feeling of your breath coming and going. And you can help your breath find a more balanced flow by slowing down the inhale and slowing down, lengthening the exhale. We'll take a few more breaths like that. As you inhale, feel your body filling up. And as you exhale, feel your body releasing what it doesn't need anymore. Breath links us to the body. It is the bridge between the body and the mind. And it helps anchor us to the present moment. So we'll keep coming back to it. And if you can balance the breath out, create a steadiness, help it become more steady. It'll help to balance out what's going on with yourself inwardly, balancing the nervous system, calming down the thoughts. This time as you inhale, if you'd like to do a slight pelvic tilt so that your belly will lift up a little bit, but you're going to keep your hips on the floor. So not the bridge where you lift the hips just yet. I'm just going to do a little tilt. And then when you exhale, the belly will come in and the lower back will sink down into the mat. And just continue rocking a little bit like that to help loosen up your back. This is really good to help loosen up any tightness or tension in your lower back. And you can always breathe out through your mouth. It helps you to let go of your breath a bit more. I'll do that for 2 more breaths here. The last breath, we're taking it nice and slow, deep into the body, down to the belly, and releasing all the way out. And as you release out, feel your back sink. And we'll slowly begin to bring the arms up and over the head. And just for a moment, connect your hands right together and stretch through your arms. Pull them up and over. And feel that nice stretch in your arms and also in your back. Opening your shoulders. And then on your exhalation, you can slowly release. And this time, if you'd like to widen your feet out a little bit more, bring and let the knees come right together. And with the arms, we'll reach them up to the ceiling, and then we're going to cross them over. So the right arm, just so we can remember how we placed our arms, we're going to keep the right arm over top, the left arm below the right, and just bring your hands around to the backs of your shoulders. And as you breathe, see if you can feel a little bit more of your breath moving into your back. And on your next breath in, if you want to slowly reach your arms up, this time let them open out to the sides. And on your next breath in, bring your arms back up towards the ceiling and cross your arms, left arm over top of the right. Reaching your hands behind your shoulders. Breathing a bit more into your upper back. Helps to create that space in your upper back and the release. Those tight places right between the shoulders. Next breath in, slowly reach your arms up and let your arms, as you exhale, release, open out to the sides. We're going to hold them there. This time, bringing your knees apart to your feet, hip distance apart, and begin to slowly rock the legs from side to side. In this position, you can flow with your breath as you exhale, dropping your legs one way. Inhale, coming back to center, and just continue to follow the flow of your breath. You can also turn your head opposite of your the direction your legs are going. Turn your head in the opposite direction. And bring it back to center as your knees come back to center. This is just a nice way to loosen up through the legs, the hips, and the lower back. And also the upper body too. You can feel a bit of a stretch through your shoulders, your your upper back. The next time you inhale, come back to center. And as you exhale, slowly bring your arms down at your sides and bring your knees in towards your chest. And we're gonna bring the hands onto the legs and give a nice little squeeze in towards your chest. And then start to just rock around a little bit from side to side. That feels really nice for the back. Rock slowly. And then coming back to center, placing your hands on your knees. And we're going to roll the knees in a circling motion, but they're going to move in opposite directions. So the knees will start together, but then move them apart and circle them wide. And we'll just continue this for a few more rotations before we switch and flow in the opposite direction. A real nice way to help calm everything down is to move slowly. So sometimes we have sort of this drive, or we get kind of wound up and we move our body quickly throughout the day sometimes. And this is helping to reset and balance. We'll go in the opposite direction now with the circles as we intentionally slow our movements down. We're cultivating more calm and stillness within ourselves. And this time, as you bring your knees back to center, widen the knees a little bit apart, bring your arms in between the legs, and see if you can grab hold somewhere, maybe on your legs, you're maybe closer towards your ankles, with your knees wider apart. See if you can bring your feet in towards each other. And this brings, we can even press the arms into the inner thighs a little bit to create a bit more of a opening, a stretch through the inner thighs. And then you can slowly release. And let's bring just the right knee in towards the chest and begin to extend the left leg out along the mat. Toes pointing up on the left side. And with the right side, if you want to start to roll your ankle, roll through your ankle, making circles with your foot. Hoping to release the tightness in the feet and joints of our ankles. And taking a few more deep breaths in and out. From this position, let's bring the left hand onto the outside of the right leg. And you can lower the right leg down, so maybe the foot starts to come onto the left leg, anywhere it's comfortable to rest. As you start to angle that right leg over to the left, you can bring your right arm out to the side, and you might feel good starting to move into your twist, where you're lifting your right hip up and bringing your right knee down and over to the left. See how that feels. If that doesn't feel quite right with your left leg straight, you can try this one with both legs bent, stacking the legs one on top of each other. So you decide which position feels right for your body tonight. We'll stay here for a few breaths. And just let your shoulders sink down, let your body relax more deeply into this pose. It's like it could melt. The parts of your body that are touching the floor, it's like they're melting down into the floor. And then slowly come back to center. we'll readjust, realign through our back. We can let go through the right leg and bring the left knee in towards the chest, and we'll extend out through the right leg. We can squeeze that left knee in a little bit and start to roll through the ankle. This is also really a great position for our digestive organs. We're gently giving the digestive organs a squeeze here. That's really nice. It also helps to open the hips. So we're going to move into our twist now. And again, you decide. So for me, I'm going to start to slowly lower my foot down onto the right leg. If you want to bend both knees, that's of course another option for you. Make sure you're not forcing any position that feels really uncomfortable, and try not to go as deeply as you can into the pose. When you first start out, you can deepen the pose as you hold it here. Maybe you start to notice that your body wants to and can, sink a little bit deeper. But follow your breath and follow how your body feels before you do any kind of movement or any kind of shift. And again, just see how much you can let go, see how much you can let your body soften and open and melt downwards. And then we'll slowly come back to center. And one more time, if you'd like to bring both knees in towards the chest. And we'll do just a little bit more of that rock from side to side. And sometimes it feels good too. And again, you want to notice if this feels good, you might feel good lifting your head up towards your knees and really squeezing. But for some, that might not be suitable. So these are just suggestions, and I really want you to keep tuning into how your body feels in everything that we're doing. You're here to enjoy, to relax, and to care and nurture yourself. So from here, we're going to come off the back. We'll do that by rolling over onto the side, and we'll stay there for a few breaths. We're not going to rush. We're helping reset our pace so our body can more deeply relax and restore our energy. We do that. What happens is we move from the active, the sympathetic nervous system state to more of the parasympathetic state, which is about rest and rejuvenation. And we're doing it for our physical body, but also for our emotional, mental well-being as well. It's all connected. So from here, let's move over into a tabletop position on your mat. And you can widen out a little bit through your knees. Have your hands underneath your shoulders, but your knees a little bit wider than hip distance apart. And begin to circle the hips around. This is always a really nice way to loosen up all different areas of your body. So we're just going to do a few slow circles in one direction. And then we'll circle in the opposite direction.
And then if you'd like to bring your knees a little closer together and begin to bring your hips back towards your feet. They might not want to, the hips might not go all the way back, but just see for a moment if you can rest here in the child's pose for a few breaths. If that's not totally suitable, then you can always come more into a relaxed puppy pose where your hips stay lifted, your forearms and your head comes down. Or you could use support underneath your head too. Here in this pose, you can imagine that someone's got their loving hands on your back and you're breathing into their hands, sending more breath into your back. It always feels nice to imagine like hands on the lower back. We'll be here for just a couple more breaths. And then we'll begin to slowly come up. And we can just slide the arms forward. And then replace where your elbows were with your hands to come back into that tabletop. Start to move through your spine a little bit more in the cat-cow. You can exhale, arch your back. And as you inhale, slowly let the front of your body curve downward. Your head lifts up just a little bit. And continue to flow here, following your breath like that wave that rolls in and out. Really helping to loosen up through your back. Moving mindfully from the lower back all the way up your spine to the head. And back again in the opposite direction. Continue with cat-cow for 2 more breaths. Awesome. From cat-cow, come back to center. Then we're going to bring the right arm out to the side. And then we're going to slide the right arm to the left, palm facing up. So it's going to slide along the floor, lowering yourself down naturally onto your shoulder, onto that side of your head. For the thread the needle position. You can do many different things with this left hand. Some people like to just keep it there, maybe even pressing the hand a little more firmly down into your mat. Some people like to extend it out and they enjoy that stretch, or some people like to bring it behind. I'll just let you decide what feels right for you. To shift around a little bit to find that more comfortable place. Please do that. Please listen to your body, what it's trying to tell you. And then we'll slowly release the left hand if it's not right, right there supporting your body. And then to come out of this, when you push into the left hand, to slowly rise back up. Feel into that position. When you come out, feel how that affects your back. You might do a little wiggle from side to side with your head and hips. Here. You can go in opposite directions with your head and hips, or you could go in the same direction. Movement out to the side. All right, we're gonna bring the left arm out to the side and slide that hand over to the right along the floor. And we're gonna stay here for a few breaths, releasing. Releasing any tightness and tension in the upper back across the shoulder. And again, if you want to do different things with that right arm, you can try that. And breath coming in, breath flowing out. Next time you inhale, bring your right hand to the floor and push down to slowly come up out of that position. Rounding the back, and as you round your back, come up onto your fingertips and slowly walk your hands in and slowly come into a kneeling position. And we'll just lift or bring the arms back behind you a little bit here, reaching back. It's really nice to open up the front of the chest, the shoulders, and if you can also bring your hands right together. And extending arms away. If that's tricky to hold on the hands together, then just bring the arms back. And then release and reach the arms straight up towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, release the arms. We'll come out of this kneeling position, bring the hands to the floor, curl your toes under, come into a squat for a moment. And remember, you don't have to hold this position. You can transition into a forward bend whenever you need to. I'm just going to stay here for a few more breaths, helping to release the hips and the lower back. And as you exhale, drop your feet right down into the floor and come up halfway, looking forward. And as you exhale, we're going to sink into the forward bend. Now bend your knees, inhale, look forward. Halfway up, exhale and sink. And you can keep going like that. You can slide your hands up to your thighs, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale. You can also do this if you have blocks. You can use your blocks in front of you. Bend your knees when you're inhaling and coming halfway up, and then exhale and just let everything sink. You could straighten your legs a little bit. We'll do that for one more breath. And then as you exhale, plant your feet into the floor. And we're going to slowly, slowly, slowly rise up into a standing mountain pose with the hands together at the heart. Taking a few breaths in and out. Placing one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. As we do this and close our eyes, we're tuning into our breath, and we're also tuning into the sensations here. These are very important places in the body. When we tune into these areas, we can get a better sense of how we're really feeling and we might be guided from, our gut telling us something, or our heart telling us something that we need to be doing. We honor our
ourselves when we come here. Because we all know that most of us, 99% of us, we spend too much time in the head and we get depleted. So let us sink down into the body. Connecting with a deeper sense of who you really are. This time as you inhale, just let your shoulders, let your hands release and let your shoulders lift. And then as you exhale, roll the shoulders back and we'll continue moving like this very slowly. So that we're doing some nice, slow, gentle shoulder rolls with the breath. On the inhale, coming up. And on the exhale, releasing. And then we'll move in the opposite direction. And try to slow it down slower than you're maybe even wanting to move. Our natural tendency might be to move quickly. And then as you release that, let your shoulders sink a bit more. And we're going to roll the head gently from side to side. Just a nice gentle circle. And I'm just doing a half circle from side to side. And then we'll turn the head to one side and hold it there for a breath. And then you can slowly drop your chin towards that side of your chest. And then bring it back to center and slowly roll the head to the other side. Look over your shoulder very gently. And dropping the chin down towards that side. And then releasing. Let's bring the chin slowly up for a moment, not too far back, and then slowly down. Let's do that for 2 more breaths. Good. Let's slowly come back to center, slowly bring the arms up. And as you exhale, we'll slowly bring the arms down. You can keep your gaze on the floor if you want to stay more grounded, more relaxed. Or you can also follow the arms. You actually get a little more energized when you look up, when the arms are going up. But we're doing this very slowly, so not worrying too much. This time, let's turn towards one side of the mat. And we'll bring the arms up. And this time as you exhale, we're going to let go with a forward bend. Bend and feel free to bend the knees and let your upper body hang. Releasing the tension, all the tension out of the entire back of your body, like it goes right through from your feet to your hips. And right through from your hips down your back through your neck and head, and just let any of your worries release out through the top of your head. If you'd like to do any variation of this posture, some people like to fold their arms or keep their hands on their thighs. We're going to move from
this forward bend into a lunge. So if you'd like to bring your left leg back and your right knee bends and lean over. This is a time that you could use props if you had props to use and wanted to felt a little bit better to be more upright. You can also just place your hands on your thighs, whatever makes you feel balanced and secure here. And you can also do a little movement, a rock back and forth. This is a really good pose to help release tightness in the hips, thighs. And when you're ready to come out of this one, we're going to come back up onto that back foot and just for a moment, press back with your heel. And then walk that back foot forward. Might take a few steps, might take one swing to get it back. Come back into your forward or half forward bend. As you exhale, sink. Let go of your head. And on your next breath in, come halfway up. And exhale, we'll slide back through the right leg and come into a lunge. Hold this for a few breaths. And again, you can do a little bit of movement back and forth. If you need to cushion your back knee, feel free to add a little support there. When you're ready to come out of this, we'll come up onto the back foot, press back with that heel and step your foot back to center. Rise halfway up and then go all the way down. This time to walk both legs back down onto your knees. Slide your knees a little bit further back and come down onto your elbows, bringing the palms of your hands together. And then pull your hips back, lower down onto your head. It's a lovely pose to open up through the upper back and shoulders. This is like we call it the puppy pose. Take a few breaths here. Opening up through your back. And very slowly starting to bring your head forward. And as you do that, we're going to lower down onto the belly. And we'll slide the hands forward just until you're in the Sphinx pose. And press the forearms, the lower arms down a little bit into your mat. And feel that lovely curve of your spine. And if it doesn't feel good, you can try sliding your arms out a little bit more. You can bring your head into a kind of a neutral position that feels right for your neck. Resting on the front of your hips and legs. We'll send a few more breaths here into the body, helping the breath slow down. And on your exhalation, release through your mouth, going. Do that one more time, breathing in a little more deeply.
And as you breathe out, release out through your mouth, making a little bit of a soft sign sound. Lower right down onto your belly. You can make a pillow with your hands for your head to rest on. Just letting the belly and the legs rest here. And then we'll reach out through the arms. Reach right out in front of you. So you can feel a nice gentle stretch. You can lift one leg slightly off the floor, just a little bit off the floor. And you can pull that leg back. So you can feel some opening in your hip here. And then releasing that. And we'll try it on the other side, lifting the leg slightly up. You're lifting right from your hip. Your arms are reaching out in front of you. And then you're slowly releasing that position. I'm going to slide the hands back in underneath the head. I'm going to actually bring the hands and the upper body a little bit closer to the right side of your mat. And with that right leg, we're going to bend the right knee and just do a little, this is a really restorative posture. If you can find a position that feels good. It's quite restful. And you're focusing on your breath, on the here and now. You're in this moment. And in this moment, all is well. You have everything you need. And sometimes we need to tell ourselves that, what we do, what we are is enough. We'll come back to center. We get caught up in, we'll bend the other knee and just let that leg slide out to the side. And we can just do a little turning of the head and supporting the head with the hands to the left side as well. Sometimes when we're always busy and trying to fill our day with doing things, trying to always accomplish things, even when our body's telling us to slow down, we're doing that out of a need to, well, it's a need to fill ourselves up with something, right? And that could be because we feel that we're lacking, right? Sometimes it feels hard to slow down and let ourselves just be in the moment, but that can stem from, maybe not feeling completely, confident within ourselves. That all those self-worth issues can come up, but we can say to ourselves what we need to hear. We can say, I am enough, and what I do is enough. Maybe I'm speaking to more of those type A type people, but I can myself be a little bit of that. So it's good to remind yourself that, honor the days when you need to slow down, when your body's telling you to slow down. Let go of what you think you should be doing and just let yourself rest.
And just let yourself be. All is good. We can sense that when we come back into ourselves, right? Oh, yeah. So come back into the Sphinx and then slide your hands underneath your shoulders. Just be able to push into the floor to come off the belly. Bring your knees a little bit wider apart with your toes together. If you have something you want to put underneath your head for child's pose again, feel free. Be here for just a few more breaths. And then we'll come up onto the elbows again. And if you want to slide your feet over to the side and come into a seated position for a few things. You can sit in a cross-legged position. You can sit on a cushion, whatever you're comfortable here. And we'll start with a side bend. So if you want to bring your left hand down and reach your right arm slowly up, okay? And we're going to go for extending out more than having to come over to the floor. So if you want to reach through that arm and feel the stretch right down that side of your body as you start to come over. And we'll hold that position for a few breaths. You might notice that you naturally kind of move and shift around with your breath. You might inhale, come up a little bit, and exhale and go deeper. And the next time you inhale, come straight up and exhale to release. Notice how that feels on that side of your body as you release. We'll bring the other arm up. And we're taking lots of time to come over, moving slowly through. Remember, we're pulling outwards, up and out, so that we can feel that extension right through the side body, maybe even right down into your hip area. And then you can slowly begin to come back up and release your arm down. Before we do a twist, let's just lean back on the hands and release the legs and shake them out a little bit. So we don't have them go to sleep or anything. Just really shake them out. And bounce the knees a few times. And we'll come back. And you can be in whatever position feels good for your legs. Maybe you want to keep your legs out because that's more comfortable, but if you can, bring your legs in again. Sit on a little something to help open up to the hips. And we'll do a twist. So first things first, we need to be able to sit up nice and tall. And then we're going to bring right arm across to the left knee and left hand behind for a little twist here to help move through the back. Twists are so wonderful to help. It's like squeezing the tension, wringing it out of the back, out of the muscles of your back.
And all these things that we're doing for our body and our mind, it's helping to reduce the toxicity that gets stored in our body, in the muscle. It gets stored in the muscles, in the joints, especially, and it causes aches and pains. That's all, like, believe it or not, it's signs of like a bit of toxicity in the body, any pain or tightness or tension. So we're helping to release that with our practice. And it moves out, especially with as we're breathing, we're helping to pull whatever we need out of the body and out of the mind. We can also experience that toxicity in the mind as well. And we're helping to process whatever we need to let go of, right? We pick up so much throughout our day from all the input at us. And this is just time to release it all. So we don't carry all that around with us. So let's slowly twist to the other side. So I was saying this is wonderful for your back as you squeeze and out. It's like wringing a cloth, washcloth that's got something, wringing out. We're squeezing out those toxins out of the physical body, the muscles, the joints, and also the organs. So we're also twists are so wonderful to help detoxify the internal digestive organs. They're so good at that. So these poses help to keep you healthy from the inside out too. And then come back. Just your job is to make sure that you're always treating your body with loving care no matter what you're doing and not forcing it to do anything. So we'll release the legs again. Not forcing the body to do something. These are suggestions that I'm offering. But you're always tuning into yourself, right? Okay. Let's bring the sole of the feet together. Sit up nice and tall here, and we're going to do a little rolling movement. You can go all the way around, and you can do this with your breath. As you inhale, come forward. As you exhale, roll back. It could be a little movement, little circle that gradually gets bigger. Then we'll move in the opposite direction. Inhaling and exhaling as you roll back. And then we can come back to center. Sitting up nice and tall, feet together. Maybe coming forward a little bit here, right from the hips, keeping your upper body really aligned and sitting up. We do that by sitting up nice and tall before we come forward from the hips. And you can decide how deeply you move through this pose. Again, start off gently. If you notice that's really comfortable, you might go a little bit more into it over time with the breath. You might sink a little bit deeper. And then we'll slowly rise back up. Sit up nice and tall. And we'll send the left leg straight out right in front of you. We're going to do just a couple more things. This is going to be a little bit different. The first thing we're going to do. So, well, this is just a nice warm up for the hips. You can hold on to the leg and real nice way to release a lot of tension here. And then if you want to, we're going to take the, so I'm working on the right foot and I'm going to put my left fingers between my toes and try to stretch those toes apart for a few breaths. Okay, we can also do a little movement with that foot, back and forth, and this really helps anything going on in the feet. So just a few movements back and forth, and then a rotation of the ankle. You can also, with your other hand, you can massage with your thumb. It's nice to massage with the thumb, the inner curve of your foot. It's almost like the spine of your foot, the arch there. You can just massage into that face there for a moment. Okay, and then we'll release. And send the leg out. Hold on to the back of the leg, bend the knee. Push the foot out. I'm holding on to the back of the leg here. And then release that leg. Okay, sit up nice and tall or bring that other leg in. If you prefer, you can do this. I'm seated on a cushion, but you can also try this in a chair if you needed to. I'm going to bring this leg around and a little rock from side to side. And then see if you can put your right fingers in between your toes. This is a really good exercise to help open up the bones of the feet that get tight and tense and start to malform together. So let's do that back and forth movement, flexing and then extending the foot. And you can also massage at the same time. Let's roll through the ankle. Press your left thumb into the inner arch of your foot, or press through and massage. And then release your fingers from your toes. And let's bring the hands behind the leg and just push out for a moment with your foot and then bend back in. And then releasing both legs. You can widen out through the legs, shake them out a bit. And then flex the feet, point the toes. And then bring the toes back in, extend out through the heels. From here, if you need to, you can bend your knees, but just try to come forward a little bit. Again, sit up nice and tall first, and then come forward. And it's not a competition with yourself or anybody else. We're just in that kind of first place. Sometimes I'd like to place my hands behind. I find that keeps my upper body nice and straight and long. And we'll slowly release. But bring your hands behind you for a moment and open the front of the chest. Let the shoulders roll back. That always feels really nice. Open up like that. And you can release. So slide the legs back together. And we're going to come back down onto the back. If you need to, grab anything you like for when we do come into our relaxation position. But for now, just lower down slowly. Back onto the back. Just noticing how your back feels now as you rest here. I'm going to bring those feet a little bit closer in towards the hips, and the feet can stay hip distance apart. The arms reaching down at your side. This time, if you want to lift your hips up, and how are we going to lift the hips up? I rushed through it a little bit there, so I'm going to slow us down, slow myself down, and first just root down through the feet. Okay, so press the feet in firmly down into the mat. Notice how that just naturally helps you to lift up through your hips. You might stay there for a breath or two, and then you can slowly roll down again. On the exhale, it's nice to come down on the exhale, come up on the inhale, but come up using the strength of your legs, and let your belly stay soft. Let your back of your hips stay soft. You can lengthen out through your neck and roll down your spine. Today, when I was doing this earlier, this pose is just so wonderful because if you sometimes, once your back is nice and relaxed and loosened up, I find this pose can help to realign my spine. Sometimes if there's just a little something out in one of my vertebrae, it's a very gentle way to just realign as you come down bone by bone through your back. Okay. This time, as you come down, relax, release your whole back into the floor and feel it soften and widen and kind of like pull out. So everything just widens out and sinks down into your mat. Right. Let's slowly bring the arms up and over the head for a nice big stretch of your arms. And if you'd like to at this point, you can also stretch your legs out and point your toes in the opposite direction. And you can point, bring your toes back in, extend out through your heels. And then we're going to walk both feet towards one side of the mat. And we're going to create like a C curve, or this is sometimes called the banana pose. So I'm going to actually also shift my arms towards that same side of the mat. And legs are going to the right. My arms are moving to the right over my head. And I'm with my right hand, I'm going to grab hold of the left wrist and just gently pull up and out. Feel that nice side stretch right through the left side of your body. And then slowly release and come back to center. And begin to slide your legs to the other side. And with your arms up over your head, slide them over into a nice C curve or banana pose. Grabbing hold of your right wrist now with your left hand.
And then you can slowly come back to center with your arms and your legs. And release your arms back down to your sides. Bending your knees again. Realigning through your back by pressing your feet down to lift your hips. And slide your right ankle onto the front of your left thigh. And if you'd like to go deeper with this, you can slide your hands behind your left knee. Loop your right arm through the inside of your legs there. I like to sometimes do a little rock from side to side on the back. You can also use your right arm to push into the inner thigh a little bit there too. You can flex your right foot so the heel extends out, toes in towards your knee, towards your right knee. And then slowly releasing and letting go to that right side. And bring your left ankle, outer ankle to the front of your right thigh. Press into the inner thigh with your left hand. And if it feels good, you can slide your hands behind your right knee. Maybe gently pushing your left elbow into your left thigh. And you can always do a little rock from side to side. Oh, let's hold here for about 3 or 4 more breaths. And at the end of this exhalation, you can release that position. Bring your feet back down to the floor. Stay with your knees bent. And you can bring your feet again, maybe a little bit wider apart, or sometimes for this move, we're going to do that flowing twist from side to side with the legs. You might have your feet a little closer together. You might have your feet a bit wider apart. Just see how it feels. And just try to keep both shoulders down. And then releasing that position, that flow of movement. Come back to center. Maybe bringing your knees in towards your chest one more time. Or doing anything that feels good at this point. This is our last position before we do our Shavasana pose, our final relaxation. And you can get whatever you need to be really comfortable in Shavasana as we transition there now. If you'd like to put something underneath your legs, that's always nice to put a little something. Maybe you've got a pillow or some blocks, or I'm going to use the bolster underneath the legs, and you can cover up with a blanket if you've got a blanket handy, if you're feeling a little bit cool. You can also place something over your eyes. And actually, before you put that over your eyes, let's rub the hands firmly together until we can create a little bit of heat here and some energy that's connected to the heart energy. And we're going to take that, the hands, the palms, and cup over your eyes. And just let the eyes absorb this lovely energy that we've created that comes out from the hands into the body. And it's very soothing, and relaxing for the eyes. And then you can just let your hands release. You might have something you can place over your eyes. That's really nice, especially if it's a bit bright where you are. And this will really help with the tension in the eyes, but also in the face and the mind too. If you'd like to place your hands back over your heart, your belly, softening here. Softening here. Going right to the core of your body as you relax your body. And just imagine the light beginning to glow. Maybe it's like a flame that's emitting a beautiful light or glow. And it's wherever you want it to be. It could be in the heart center and the belly. But it's at the core of your body, and there's this beautiful glowing light. A radiant light that starts to shine through the center of your body and through the center of your being. And it moves through all places, and as it moves, as it shines and glows brighter and brighter, it goes right through this whole entire inside of your body, down through the legs, down through and out through the feet. It shines downwards, it shines up through the shoulders, the arms, out through the hands. It shines up through the neck, the face, the jaw, the head, the crown of the head. This light is shining from within all throughout your entire body. And also it surrounds your body. So it emits a light outside of your body, surrounding your body with beautiful healing light. And we're just going to rest within this light, allowing our body to release anything it needs to release, dissolving away whatever is meant to be released, anything that needs to let go, any tension, tightness, anything that we're ready to release. Give yourself permission Give yourself permission here to let go of whatever's ready to release. I give myself permission to let go. I give myself permission to go into a healing state. And I can do that by really relaxing my body, the feet, the legs. Can let go of the legs and feet and let them go comfortably heavy, sinking down. Right through the hips. And all the way through the torso, the front, the sides, and the back of the torso. Softening. Softening through the shoulders, the backs of the shoulders, the arms, the hands. And bring softness up through the head, the jaw, releasing teeth apart. Your whole body relaxes. Your whole body releases. And whatever we're letting go of, it's so that we can get closer and closer to what is real and true within ourselves. So that we can feel that natural abundance of joy and peace and love that can radiate right from the center of our being. My breath breathes me now. I'm being breathed by my breath. Before we come out of the Shavasana completely, I'd like to maybe just get you to try one more thing here, which is a traditional pranayama, which is a breathing exercise that I
feel is perfect right before bedtime. And I find that if I'm a little bit more energized or high strung or feeling more tension or stress before bed, really in my mind, this is a wonderful way to calm the mind, and it's wonderful for anxiety. It lengthens out the exhalation quite a bit. So what that does is it balances the nervous system and puts us into more of that parasympathetic state of relaxed, being and feeling relaxed and at ease. And it lowers the blood pressure. So really good for that too. If you'd like to, for this breath, you can close off your ears. You don't have to, but it's nice because it allows you to really focus on the sound. We're gonna make that humming sound with the breath. So you just take it's like making the sound of a bee, humming as you exhale. You take a breath in normally, deeper breath in, and on the exhalation, you just make the really nice to close off the ears. If you're doing that now, you might not be able to hear me saying that, but just keep trying it, and not just listening to the sound, but also feeling the sound. There's a vibration to the sound that's really nice and soothing. Let's try it a couple more times, and just to get to know it, and for you to maybe start to use it when you need to, right before bedtime. You can feel the body vibration, the sound that can also move from the head down into the body as you're making that sound. And it helps to open the heart chakra too. Beautiful, beautiful breath. So whenever you're finished, you can just start to wiggle and move your fingers and your toes. You might want to come back to rubbing the hands together, creating some warmth, some heat and energy. And just letting that energy wash over your face, your eyes, and down through your cheeks. You can also place your hands wherever you find that you need to send more healing energy. You can place your hands wherever you need to. And let your body absorb the healing energy from your hands. That energy is connected from your heart. It comes from your heart chakra. When you're open like this, it's very healing. And you just intuitively bring your hands wherever you want to, wherever you feel you need that. Okay, so on your own time, you're at home, so there's no need to rush. Take your time to come up to a seated position. And it's good to take a moment just to really get a sense of where you're at now. feeling through your body. Also to help with our energy, to help with our happiness, and we can take time at the end of our practice to be grateful for all the things that we have in our life. There is sometimes a tendency to look at life the other way and just focus on what we don't have, and it's good to flip that around, especially at the end of the day, kind of first thing in the morning, and just go over all those things that we have, that we're so fortunate to have, and do that now. Being grateful for this body that carries us around every day. Make sure to send that gratitude back to yourself too. And thank you so much. Namaste. Thanks so much for taking this time to practice yoga, to help improve your state of being and your wellness and your vitality. I hope this practice helped you feel better, and I hope that you have a wonderful sleep tonight. See you again soon.